So for this video, I'm going to be talking about two of the shows I'm watching. One of them is a sequel from an anime that premiered last year, and a new one. So the first show I'm going to talk about is the one that is new to this season. It is an isekai called My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. So, Villainess, to shorten the name of the show, is about Katarina Claes, the young daughter of a noble family who one day bumps her head while talking to a prince named Giordo. When she bumps her head, she reawakens to her past memories. She is actually a 17-year-old otaku from our world who died in a traffic accident after staying up all night the previous night playing a dating sim game called Fortune Lover. It doesn't take her long to figure out that the world she's been reborn to is actually the game she was playing, and better yet, the character she has been reincarnated as is the villainess of the game, whose name, as I mentioned earlier, is Katarina. Katarina, in the original game, no matter what ending the players took, would always have a crappy ending. At best, she would be exiled, and at worst, she'd be executed. But no matter what, she would not have a good ending. So Katarina, now armed with her knowledge of the game, is taking whatever action she can to avoid her less than ideal ending waiting for her in the future. The main story of the game itself starts when Katarina is 15, and the anime starts when she is just a child, so she has a little time to figure things out. Whether that be things like gardening, learning magic, or just making friends along the way and not being an abusive jerk to her adopted brother Keith, Katarina is doing her best to live a long and happy life that hopefully does not lead to doom. I absolutely love the premise of this show. It's hilarious to watch the main character slowly realize her situation and come to the conclusion that all of the good endings from the game that she played is actually her new worst nightmare. It's a fun take on the isekai genre. Not that being reborn evil is a new concept by any means, but the fact that this being evil actually leads to certain doom, and the main character is actively trying to avoid it, it's a fun new take. It's interesting, and it leads to some really funny moments. And as someone who plays a lot of visual novels, not necessarily dating sims, but visual novels, I do appreciate the settings and the references. One of the highlights to me is seeing Katarina start genuinely caring about the other characters of the show. Like, you know she's doing a lot of what she is to avoid her demise, but at certain points she goes so out of her way and gets so invested in these people's lives that you know that she does care about them. And at the end of episode 3, she says one of the reasons she doesn't want to die or get exiled is so she can keep spending time with her newfound friends forever. If there's one scene I could recommend you to watch to convince you to watch the whole series, it would be the council scene from the first episode. Basically, in this scene, Katarina is thinking to herself, but it's visualized so we see the inside of her mind, and there's a bunch of different versions of her, all with drastically different personalities, and they're all trying to find a solution to not die or get exiled. You can tell the voice actress had a blast, that she was playing an old, wise version of herself, a carefree, childlike version, and a studious version, and then there's her playing her regular old character, just trying to find a solution in the chaos that is her mind. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I'm butchering any of these names. I already mentioned a few of the names from the characters of the show, but also the name of the voice actress I'm about to say. Maya Uchida, who voices Katarina, absolutely knocked it out of the park in that scene and throughout the whole series. She just gives a great performance as a regular otaku stuck in the body of a noble. The dialogue is funny, the animation is pretty to look at, and the show has a lot of heart. So if you're looking for something funny and easy to watch, I highly recommend this show. It's 3 episodes in, or depending on when this is uploaded, it could be 4 episodes. I'm hoping to have this video out by the time, before the 4th episode comes out. But basically at the end of episode 3, we get to the point where the main story of the game is actually going to start, so I'm really interested to see how the dynamics between the characters shift at all. Like if any of the characters Katarina has purposely gotten close to are going to turn on her because she originally was the very big jerk Villainess. Either way, whatever happens, I'm sure there are going to be some crazy hijinks that are hilarious to watch. One last thing I'd like to talk about the show before moving on is just how good the opening is. The song itself has this royal, grandiose feeling to it while also keeping comedic and silly elements to it. And the visuals themselves are really impressive. The transitions from childhood moments in the opening to adult teenhood moments are all really smooth and just satisfying to watch. After taking a video editing class, I pay more attention to the transitions between clips, and all of the transitions in this opening really flow together and lead into the next one really well. It's very satisfying to watch. Speaking of good openings, Kaguya-sama, Love is War is back. I didn't realize how much I missed this show until I started watching the first episode of Season 2, and I watched Hayasaka whip around the school filled with lasers in what looks like a James Bond sequence as she carries out the newest plan of Kaguya's. So to summarize the story of Love is War quickly, main characters Miyuki Shirogane and Kaguya Shinomiya like each other, but they are too proud to admit it. And as the title of this series suggests, love is war, and the first person to confess their feelings loses. So instead of one of them going up to the other like a normal person and saying, "Hey, I like you. Let's go on a date sometime if you want," or something along those lines, they each come up with ridiculously convoluted schemes and play mind games with each other as they each try to get the other one to confess their feelings and love for one another or ask them out on a date. Something like that. This series is hilarious. The crazy situations that the characters get themselves into while trying to win in the war of love, along with the other equally as fun characters' reactions and interventions to these plans, makes for an extremely fun time. All the characters are unique, over the top, and likable, and every scene they play off each other so well, whether it be through their actions, dialogue, or personalities. Another thing I really like about this series is it feels like it's making real progress in terms of the main romance. Like, it's not going to be in a stalemate forever of will they, won't we, simply for the sake of going on forever. So the second season is 2 episodes in, and it's better than ever. Towards the end of season 1, there was less of a focus on the crazy hijinks and more of a focus on emotional character arcs and development, with humor still playing a role, which was great. After seeing these characters goof around and act ridiculously, it was great to see some emotional stakes for the season finale. That being said, these first 2 episodes are very reminiscent of early season 1, where it's just crazy situation after another, and it's even better than before. First of all, the animation is amazing. The 2 episodes both look like they had the animation budget of the Chica dance sequence from season 1, and well, that animation is really good. Don't get me wrong, the animation to season 1 was really good, but this new season's animation is just beautiful to look at. When I mentioned this on a comment, someone responded that this was probably due to the fact that they got a bigger budget once the series got so popular after its first season, and that makes sense, and Love is War deserves it. The new animation really brings new life to all the scenes. The animation for the hilarious facial reactions feels so much more fluid, and all the character actions and scenes have this new, faster dynamic, which really adds to the wacky and fun nature of the show. And the movements just look so smooth. Also, I just have to give props to all the voice actors, every single one, because this show would not be half as good if they didn't have the right cast. Each voice actor gives an amazing performance as their characters. They can scream the most ridiculous and funny of dialogue at the top of their lungs. They can switch their mood from calm to almost literal insanity in the blink of an eye. They know how to handle the serious emotional scenes as well. And overall, they're just funny and really talented voice actors. The dialogue feels alive, like these people are all actually talking or shouting most of the time at each other. Special prop to Kaguya's voice actress, Ai Koga, for, in a move similar to Villainess this week, or last week depending on when this video is uploaded, voicing multiple different versions of herself inside her own head. She is hilarious, and every line Kaguya says thanks to her is pure gold. The 2 episodes that are out so far had crazy situations that I honestly think I like more than all the situations in season 1. I think a big part of this is because now we, the viewers, have spent time with the characters and know a lot about them. We know their personalities, what they excel at, what they don't, their quirks and mannerisms, and because we know that, we appreciate the situations which always escalate out of control because of them interacting with each other even more. I'm just assuming this because I haven't actually read the manga, but I'm assuming this was similar for the author Aka Akasaka. At this point, he knew how to write these characters best and what situations to put which characters in to get the most laughs and ludicrousy out of. He spent all of the stories leading up to this point building these characters and their personalities, and now is the time when they get to shine the most. Now, did I just spend maybe a little too long explaining something that could be best summarized as character funny, situation funny, laughs? Maybe. But I think it's important to talk about why a long-running comedy series can stay fresh and funny for so long without getting, well, stale and boring. And I know the anime itself hasn't been going on for a while, but the manga is still ongoing, I believe. And from what I've heard, it's still really good. I'm assuming as the series goes on, the story will get more serious and focus more heavily on the romance and drama, and I'm here for it. Through these insane scenarios and emotional moments like towards the end of season 1, I've really grown attached to these characters, and I want to see them grow. And once more, I need to talk about the opening song. Now, I was convinced when season 2 was announced that they wouldn't be able to live up to its great opening, Love Dramatic, even if they got the same singers, Masayuki Suzuki and Rika Ihara back. I could have sworn it was one of those one-time only openings where they wouldn't be able to make a song as good as the first. And thankfully, I was wrong. The new song called Daddy Daddy Do by Masayuki Suzuki and Ari Suzuki is just as jazzy, memorable, and fun as the first opening, if not more so. At first, I thought I still didn't like it as much as the first opening, but after like 10 repeats, the song really grew on me. I'd say I definitely like the song more, but I still like the opening to season 1 better overall, just because of the insane visuals going on in the opening. I still really liked what I saw in this new opening, especially this clip of Chika, Ishigami, and the others prancing around like detectives, but is it this? But still, I am genuinely impressed that they managed to create such a great opening, and the ending song is great too. Love is War is the show that and I'm probably assuming a lot of people, needed right now. It's a crazy fun time, and it just makes you feel good. You'll be too busy laughing at these over-the-top but likable characters to even notice the time passing or all the crap going on in the world right now. This is the one show where I don't actually check how much time is left to the episode because I don't want it to end. I know it's a weird thing to mention, but even with great shows that I'm watching, like Ascendance of a Bookworm, at certain points I'll check the time and be like, okay, this show, then I need to dedicate somehow more time to Persona 5 Royal, but not this show. Love is War is one of my favorite newer anime, and if the second season continues to be as good as the first 2 episodes have been, it might be my favorite comedy series ever. If you're looking for a hilarious series with memorable and fun characters, do yourself a favor and watch Love is War. Alright, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. This has been hopefully an okay editor 357, and until next time, see you guys.